Welcome dear student. In the continuance of the last class fundamental computers, today we are going to discuss about the functional component of a computer. So, functional component of a computer means the both hardware and software together make the computer system function. Functional component of computer. Let us first have look at the functional component of a computer. So, every task given to a computer follows an input process output cycle, that is IPO cycle. IPO cycle. That means input, processing and output. It needs certain input process, that input and produce the desired output. So, input unit take the input process. The central process unit does the processing of data and the output unit produce the output. So, the memory unit hold the data and instruction during the processing. So, I will show you the functional component of the computer. So, you see that this diagram, that image, you clear about it. There is input through the input device, you are doing the input, that processing will be doing in the CPU, that is called the central processing unit. So, input that processing central processing unit, then again output. So, this image is described. So, what happening in the central processing unit? So, central processing unit itself having the three process, that is control unit, ALU arithmetic logic unit, memory unit. Let us see one by one what is control unit. What is input, what is control unit, what is ALU unit, what is the role of memory unit. So, input unit consists input devices that are attached to the computer. This device take input and convert it to binary language that computer understand very well. Some of the common input device are keyboard, mouse, joystick and scanner. So, here the input is that. What is the control unit doing? So, the control unit is the responsible of coordinating various operations using time signal. The control unit determine the sequence in which computer program and instruction are executed. Things like processing of program stored in main memory, interpretation of the instruction and using of signal for other unit of the computer executing system. I repeating that the interpretation of the instruction and using of signal for other unit of computer to execute them. The control unit one more act as a switchboard operator when several users access the computer simultaneously. So, and also the control unit, it coordinate the activity of the computer's peripheral equipments as they perform the input and output process. So, it is the control unit functioning. Next is the ALU arithmetic logic unit. Why it is called the arithmetic? Here the major function is a digital circuit used to perform arithmetic and logic operations. So, whenever you enter the data through the input device, it is stored in the primary storage unit. So, the actual processing of data and instruction are performed by the arithmetic unit, arithmetic logic unit. So, here data, instruction, so here the data is transferred to ALU from storage unit. When required, after processing, the output is returned back to storage unit for further processing and getting storage. So, the key role of the arithmetic logic unit is the major operation performed by the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, logic and comparison. So, this is the main of arithmetic logic. Let us see the next, memory unit. The memory unit is the principal storage of computer. So, earliest days the type of memory was electromechanical relays. So, earlier memory is electromechanical relay. So, electromechanical relays. So, thereafter mercury filled tubes and transistor considered as a memory unit. So, nowadays the memory unit is the form of semiconductor or silicon chip. So, that memory unit is nowadays using the semiconductor. What is that called? Semiconductor? It is kind of silicon chip, or you can say the silicon chip. So, one more, the memory unit also having the register memory. You see the image, register memory. So, the register temporarily hold the frequent used data instruction, the memory address that are to be used by the central processing unit. You see that the arrow mark indicating the flow of signal. So, where the address register, their internal register, data register and also the form of memory address register. So, what are the register under the memory unit? Let us see, there will be the instruction register, in short form we are calling IR. So, it is the one of the register. So, buffer register BR, that is buffer. So, data register, one more DR, data register. Another one is AR, that is address register. Here IR, instruction register. So, combined together as considered as a register. So, this is the one of the functions in the CPU. Now, overall what is considering the CPU? CPU combination of ALU and CU, arithmetic logic unit, including the control unit of a computer system. That means jointly the central processing unit doing by this way. You may call CPU as a brain of any computer system. Why it is called the brain of computer? Because it is just like a brain that take all the major decision, makes all stores of calculation and direct different parts of the computer function by activating and controlling the operations. This is the major role play in the CPU. So, this is the functional processing. What is the output actually doing? The output is, the output is consist of output devices that are attached with the computer system. So, the output what actually doing? It convert the binary data coming from the CPU and to human understandable form. So, that output is convert the binary data coming from CPU and convert to the human understandable form. So, the common output device are monitor, printer, plotter, these are we are very familiar. So, this is the functional component. Now, next we going to the concept of booting. What are the one more the concept of booting? Concept of booting. When a computer is switched on, a copy of boot program is brought from ROM into main memory. So, the ROM to main memory. Say anybody, if your computer switch on, so actually the boot processing will be going from ROM to main memory. So, this processing is called booting. So, the CPU first run a jump instruction that transfer to the BIOS. So, that means second jump instruction. So, jump instruction that transfer to BIOS. So, all the here technical term is written in the short form. BIOS means basic input output system, that it start executing. So, BIOS conduct a series of self diagnostic test. It is called series of self diagnostic test is equivalent to called post. That means power on self test. You can say expand form power on self test. So, this test include the memory test, configuring and starting video circuitry, configuring the system hardware and checking other device that help to function computer properly or not. So, is kind of self testing. That is why the self testing is, however, is going to series of self diagnostic. It is not a one the series of continuous way the self testing will be. The system computer while on, the system does not start from initial state. So, all the diagnostic test need not carried out in this case. There are chance to data loss. So, and system damage as data might not have been stored properly. I am repeating this point, dear student. So, series of self diagnostic test. So, initial state, so all the diagnostic tests need not be carried out in this case. So, there chance of data loss and system damage as might be in the stored program. What happened? The BIOS locate a bootable drive to load boot sector. So, there will be the drive to load boot sector. Where to load actually? Boot sector. So, this is the boot sector is the execution transfer to the boot strap loader program on the boot sector, which load and execute the operating system. If the boot sector is on hard drive, then it will have the master boot record also. We check the partition table for activity partition. If found the MBR, that means master boot record, that partition boot sector also execute in proper manners. So, the concept of booting is there. So, now you see what is the booting process, how many types? There is two type of booting is there. You can, I am showing you the image that there is two type of booting. process. One is called cold booting. Another one is called warm booting. This cold booting, whenever you switch on, we call it cold booting. Otherwise, it can be on other name, hard booting. When user process when user press the power button, the instruction or read from the ROM to initiate the booting process, that is called cold booting. So, warm booting, when system restart or you press the reset button, that process is called the warm booting. So, otherwise it is one more name is called the soft booting. So, soft booting, here is hard booting name also. In short form I am writing here. So, this is the concept of booting process. So, this activity is also in computer, that is called component of the computer. So, next we are going to discussion about the common bus architecture. Dear student, one more thing is common bus architecture. So, common bus architecture means what? We already discussed about that CPU, memory, input and output. So, this all component is through the signal process given taken. So, the bus means the path. The paths must be provided to transfer information from one register to another, between memory to almost register. So, output of 7 register and memory are connected to the common bus. This common bus is interconnected with the CPU, memory and input and output devices also. That is why that system is called the system bus. You can clear about this, image is very clear while you watching this. So, a more efficient scheme of transferring information in a system with many register is use a common bus. So, that common bus interconnection between the functional component of a computer can be done in many ways. So, if you see in the microcomputer, we generally see the common bus architecture. We process the input, output. So, this device communicate it with each other through a common bus. So, a bus is a transmission path. So, bus means here is transmission path. That means set of conducting wires. Transmission here is set of conducting wire. So, over the data or information in the form of electric signal. So, here the electric signal. So, it is possible for one component to another in a computer. So, this bus can be in 3 types, that is called address bus, data bus, control bus. So, these 3 address bus, data bus and control bus is through transmission the data. So, the address bus carry the address location of the data and instruction. So, address bus carry the address location. The data bus carry from one component to another and control bus carry the control signals. So, data bus carry the data. Control carries the control signals. So, this is the major point. So, you see the image, The system bus is the common communication path that carries the signals. So, arrow mark is indicating the signals from CPU, main memory, input, output, all the devices. So, the input output device communicate with system bus through the controller circuit. So, that is in the controller circuit. So, this control circuit help to manage various input output devices attached to the computer. So, this is the common bus architecture functions. Now, this is the point. Now, next we are going to discussion about the classification of computer. In the classification computer, mainly 3 type. One is called the, you can say, digital computer. I am using short form, analog computer. Hybrid computer. So, first we see the digital computer. These computers are capable for processing information in discrete form. Digital computer technology, data which can be in the form of letters, symbols or numbers is represented in binary form, that is 0 1. So, binary digit, the presence is 1, the absence is 0 of current or voltage. It compute by counting and adding operations, digital computers. The digital computer are used in industrial, business and scientific application. So, they are quite suitable for large volume data processing. So, large volume data processing will be done by digital computer. So, another is analog computers. So, analog computer features, what is the features? This computer works on continuously changeable aspect of physical phenomena such as fluid pressure, mechanical motion, electrical quantities. So, the analog computer is such as fluid pressure, mechanical motion, electrical quantities. So, this computer measure changes in continuous physical quantity, says current and voltage also. You can give the one example in day to life. The thermometer is a good example of analog computer. Since it is measure the change in mercury level continuously, although the accuracy of analog computer is less compared to the digital computer, but yet it is used the process of generated by changing physical quantity, especially when the response to change is fast. However, the analog computer present day help to conduct experiment repeatedly in real time environment. So, some of the common example are simultaneously using in this aircraft, nuclear power plant, hydraulic and electronic network, analog computer very useful in this area. Now, the hybrid computer. What is hybrid computer? So, this hybrid computer how developed? This incorporated in the 2 technologies, one is analog and one is digital technology. So, hybrid computer is combination of both analog and digital. So, here the combination of analog plus digital. So, it has the speed of analog computer and it has the accuracy of digital computer. So, it may accept the digital or analog signal, but an extensive conversion of data from digital to analog, analog to digital has to be done by this way in hybrid computer. Generally, the analog components provide efficient processing of different equation. while the digital part deals with the logical operation of the system. This is the main of the hybrid computer. So, hence the benefit of analog computers and also the digital computer. So, certain example you can give the example of analog hybrid computer is for high camp. So, that a high camp 250 is model one of the, and also high DAC computer, high DAC. So, the high DAC is 2400, the model. This is one of the example of hybrid computer. Analog computer also is that, digital computer we are doing the day by day. So, now we are going to classification of the digital computer. So, here is digital computer, further 4 sub under the digital computer, that is called microcomputer. So, one more is called mini computer. So, mainframe computer, supercomputer. So, what is microcomputer? So, these are under digital category, digital computers. So, these all use the personal computer, use a PC. This is a typical very digital computer, that is a microprocessor, that is CPU or single chip, it is having the single chip, and it include the both desktop and laptops also. This computer can work in small volume of data, are very versatile and handle variety of applications in microcomputer. Further, the microcomputer using as a workstation, CAD, multimedia, advertising applications, small portable computers, PDA, personal digital assistants, and tablets, wireless computing technology. So, these are all the very popular in the microcomputer. Next, see that mini computer. Mini computer can support multi-user working simultaneously on the same machine. Very important valid point I am speaking. The mini computer support multi-user working simultaneously on the same machine. So, that the mini computer speciality. So, mini computer mainly used for organization where the computer installed various department and interconnected. So, these computers are useful for small business and also big organizations. Let us see that mainframe computer. So, what is the feature of the mainframe computer? Are large, very powerful computer, very high memory capacity, and these can process huge database such as census and extremely fast rate, and they are very suitable for big organization like banks, industry, can support the hundreds of users simultaneously on the network. So, mainframe computer is the features. Last one is supercomputers. These are the fastest, very expensive computer today world. They can execute billions of instructions per second. So, these are multiprocessor, not a single processor. Parallel system suitable for specialized complex such as scientific application, involving the huge amount of mathematical application also, including the weather forecasting. So, these all the supercomputer can do it, the other computer cannot be easy. The main difference between the supercomputer compared to if you mainframe computer. So, mainframe computer, supercomputer, what is the difference? The supercomputer fewer program as fast as possible, whereas mainframe computer execute many program concurrently, right. So, this is the major, this classification computer is this much. Dear students, this first topic fundamental computer almost covered. At this unit having the 5 marks, and this 5 marks is almost all the relevant topic as per CBSE prescribed syllabus covered. Now, I giving to some exercise question to you. You may try at your home, and any reference you required, you go through the CBSE book. Dear student, so this is the chapter is over, finish. So, some of the exercise you see, name at least 4 early calculating device. Who first proposed the concept of stored program computer? Define the input output cycle. Explain the von Neumann computer. Compare the silent feature of first and second generation computer. Why is Charles Babbage known as father of modern computer? Explain the functional component of computer with the help of black diagrams. What are the function of control unit? Explain booting process and its types. So, these are the very simple exercise question you go through. Thank you very much, dear. The class is over. Thank you very much. Let us see the next another day.